boys!
Sports Court is in session.
Sports Court, sponsored by Fair State University. Welcome back to another case in Sports Court. This week we're arguing, does the MLB lockout change how you feel about baseball? Just a bit for me. I still love the game, but the way it's being handled is a joke. Keep in mind, the league locked out the players. This is not a players' strike. This is the league telling the players that they don't want to play until they get their way. This is already a league that has a problem marketing its stars. Mike Trout's the best player in the universe. People barely know what that guy looks like. I think Major League Baseball needs as many eyes on it as it can get right now. This is an absolute embarrassment for the sport.
No, this does not change my opinion about baseball because I already knew it was a sham. Back when they started this lockout in December, I remember people saying, don't worry, they still got time. I remember thinking they're going to screw this up, and they did.
Mike, you're right. I think back in December, a lot of people probably thought, this might drag out. But as it got closer to spring training, you had to assume this was going to get done. Don't you think the league would have moved with a little bit more urgency as soon as we hit March?
Yeah, they started to, but if you recall, they only had met like a handful of times before that. This week, they started meeting all the time, but it's just like that kid who waits the night before a test to start studying. You're not going to get an A all the time when you do that, and they clearly failed in this instance. I know you're sticking with baseball. You're a baseball guy. You got the full Tigers uniform. Is there ever going to be a cutoff point for you where you say, enough, Finn?
Likely. You know, you look at what the NHL has done when they have had severe work stoppages, canceling entire seasons. People didn't know what network they were being played on. That sport lost fans for good. If Major League Baseball got to a point where they canceled a season, or like they did back in 1994, they canceled a World Series, that sport would lose me for sure. They haven't gotten there yet, but with moves like this, they're getting closer. Coming off of a pandemic and a season in which attendance wasn't 100%, Major League Baseball needed to get this right. They have failed in the worst way possible. After what they learned in 2020 on how fickle things can be, once you lose some fans, you might not get them back. Now, you've already canceled the first 2 series of the season. Now you're getting into messing with the owner's money. They are losing revenue for home games. This hurts them. It would behoove them to make a deal as soon as possible. I don't know what Major League Baseball is doing.
To be clear, this is all the owners. I know it's hard to feel bad for millionaires, but you forget there's a lot of players who don't make a lot of money. They were trying to increase that minimum salary. They couldn't do that. And again, this is all the owners. They think they're invincible. They think people will keep coming back. I got news for you. The average age for a baseball fan is 56 years old. They're not getting any younger. Literally, things like this are not helping. Now we turn the case over to you, the jury.
Head to the 13 on your side Facebook page or text COURT to 616-559-1310 to comment.
Last week we asked if Juwan Howard's punishment was too lenient, and the jury agreed with me that it was, yes, appropriate.
We got to ask different questions. But Jessica captured the sentiment of a lot of people when she said his 5-game suspension says you can be a head coach and not be held to higher standards. If the coaches aren't held to them, how likely is it the athletes won't be either? It's a good question.
And we'll be operating at the highest standards. Will you join us again next week? Until then, Sports Court is adjourned.